Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have Mary Ann Martinez joining us here today from beautiful Castro Valley, California. She's a massage therapist at Pure Massage Therapy and so much more. Welcome to the show today. How are you?
I am fantastic, Jill. Thank you.
Well, excited to have you here. Someone who has so many years of experience with massage therapy and really Reiki energy healing, so much more. We're going to get to know you today and, of course, talk more about what pure massage therapies can do for you out there today that are listening and watching the show. So, first and foremost, welcome. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. I am so honored to meet you, and I love your energy. It helps me immensely.
Same here. And tarot readings. I mean, we have a lot. You got a lot of great energy here. So let's get started by telling us a little bit about yourself, Mary Ann. I know it might take a little time, but yeah, I want to know about you and then what brought you into this field. And then we're going to get to the core of what you can do and help people with. But tell us a little bit about yourself. Everybody has a backstory, and I think that's important for your clients to get to know you and myself as well.
Well, okay, so it does have a long, lengthy, probably narrative. It has been an amazing journey with many twists and turns, you can imagine,
I'm
as life
sure.
will do. But my story is starts as a not midlife crises, if you will, but in midlife as far as massage therapy goes. And it was somebody had asked me once, what was the impetus? What made you decide to do it? And I honestly think it was a commercial, which I'm not normally drawn in by, right? So
Mm.
it happened through a commercial, and then I have two beautiful sons, and they were what 15, 14, 15 at
Oh
the
my
time. They had another
goodness.
year or so.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, wait a minute. They're going to be gone. I need to downsize. I need to make a little extra money. You know what I'm saying? And so I just saw this commercial and it just hit me. It was a resonance that, I know people can relate to. Some things stick, some things, have no influence at all. And I did it. And 24 years later this year, I'm still doing it. So that was the beginning. And it went through, like I said, so many metamorphoses, starting at chiropractic office, one that I used to take my children to, actually, one of the best in the world. I think he still actually practices. And then going and getting my day spa, the dream of a massage therapist. And then it being sold, and then working at other day spas, and then thinking, I would like to be an independent contractor. I would like to just work for
Uh-huh.
myself. And that's where Pure Massage Therapies came along. Actually, 7 years ago today, I took over Pure Massage Therapies. So I cannot even really describe and explain what a gratifying experience it's been for me, with some of the most beautiful people that are supportive and loyal, and that have the like-mindedness of wanting to take care of themselves, and to feel the healing is everything. It's our wealth. It's what matters most. Yes, do you agree on that,
I
Jill?
agree. Yeah, absolutely, positively, I do. Wow.
So that's kind of a synopsis of basically what direction it was. I'd actually worked in special needs for about probably 10 years when I took on massage, and I did both. And yeah, it's not ending, but at the same time, I realized I won't be able to do it another 24 years. So this is an understanding that I'm starting to feel, that feeling of, okay, what's next? Like maybe podcasts, maybe
Yes.
being able to talk about it with people and have, a health forum where, all questions can be asked and hopefully answered. So I'm gonna let you do that for me now, because that's
I
what I love
will.
about this.
No, no, no. You're amazing. And we're excited that you're here. I want to talk so much more about, how you're helping people. And really, you mentioned, giving people the relief, as we say, right? Yeah, it's the relief that they need, basically. And it's not just physical, it's mentally too, right? It's
It's it's so true. It is so true. It's holistic in that regard. And if for no other reason, although honestly, the majority of the people I work with, they are definitely in need of it. They have jobs or they're sitting and they're, not able to get up and move. And the
Yeah.
variety is large, but it's that they need that time. They need that time for them. They need that time to decompress, if you will, and then definitely get their knots out and all the other variables that happen and are actually truly beneficial to every body
Yeah.
as far as massage is concerned,
Well, let
releasing
me ask.
toxins.
I know you do Swedish and deep tissue massages, and we're going to talk about the
Correct.
hands-on practice as well as the offhand practice and the tower readings as well. But someone on the website,
Okay.
one of your testimonials, someone describes you as having a healing touch.
Oh,
That was, hold on, that was Amber saying, not only do I love massages, but I truly enjoy our conversations before she gets the knots out. So there's something clearly energetic about you as well. Best massages in all of Castro Valley. This is from Elvin. Also, Monica says it was her first time visiting with you. It was amazing. You made the process so easy, so understanding, so simple. You did an excellent job giving me a Swedish massage and then going above and beyond by massaging a little longer. You said they talk about your craft and your clients feeling so comfortable and relaxed. Now, hands-on services like that, obviously, you're in person. You need to be there. What's the difference between the Swedish deep tissue? And then I want to ask you about the reflexology too.
okay. Well, the difference between, by the way, that's what I'm speaking about. When people say things like that, it just fills your heart because it's my passion and I love doing what I'm doing very, very much. But the difference between the Swedish would be a lighter touch, a more flowy, they call it effleurage
Yeah.
movement, because not everybody wants deep, but 99% of people do, to be completely honest. And that difference too. The deep tissue is more focused, it's more specific areas.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I do want to say that I do care a great deal about is that I do not have a cookie cutter type of massage. It's really very much based and focused on the specifics of that time. I have many regular clients over the years, and every time I see them, there's something maybe a little different. So then I ask that, I listen, and then we go to work and we do what we can in that amount of time to release the stresses that our bodies build up, you know.
Now,
Do you get massages yourself?
the last one I had was about 4 months ago, so not enough.
Okay.
And that was, I have two little kids. From
Oh
sitting
yeah.
here, and you could probably tell you're probably judging just because this is your job to
No,
see
no, no.
my posture and I have this fancy chair, and it's got the neck rest, but I never sit back and sit right. I'm kind of hunched in my chair. And there's so many of us, the way we work nowadays at a desk, right? And what that does to
Absolutely.
our back. I mean, how often should we be getting a
Well, of
massage?
course, I joke because people ask me that, and generally it's like they finish their massage and they book the next one ahead of time, right? However, they do ask when they're new, and I say, well, I would say every day, but when you win the lottery, maybe that can
I, yeah,
as
right.
with myself. But truthfully, I do a lot of bi-weekly for those that are really
Okay.
intensely hurting, and then when it gets to a point where they feel somewhat normalcy,
Then,
then you do the once a month, which is it's great, but it's 1 hour, maybe 90 minutes out of a month. So it's
wow.
relative to them, but it's actually for many of my clients, it's an absolute must. So it's not a pampering, let me just put it that way. I think a lot of
Beautiful.
people have a different, thought process on that too. But
And
yeah,
and then reflexology now, that art of working on feet. Now that relates to our whole inner body and workings, doesn't it? Because
it
there's
absolutely does. It does. It's amazing. Every single organ is in the bottom of our feet, and what am I trying to say? I was going to say science, but it's actually been around for thousands of years, and it really, really can make a difference. And by the way, our feet, I love and I pray and I thank my feet every single day because of what they've done for us our entire
yeah.
life and how they've carried us. And so reflexology is that as well as the hands. And people once again working on a computer, the constant movement and repetitive motions, it feels so good to get that worked through and worked out. And it involves the entire body. It's kind of a miracle in a way.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so
So for someone with stomach ailments, for example, there's a part of the foot that relates to the stomach. This is where I find fascinating. If you're having headaches, there's a part of
exactly.
the foot that relates to
It's
Amazing.
everything. It's like the meridians, and they move up the body. Every part of our body, like the game Operation.
Oh my
When
goodness, I love that game. I have it to,
it
I
used
have
to be that noise is a little annoying, but no, moving up. Everything is connected, and sometimes there's referral pain. If you have a really horrible pain here, it could be because of your left quadriceps area that's been out of because you're sitting, like you said, and you're in a position that doesn't feel comfortable, but you get very focused on your work, and the time goes by, and like, my gosh, I haven't gotten up and walked in like 2 hours or what have you. All of that's relative, as it is with reflexology. So I did take it. I was certified in that, and I do that. I'm not a specialist, but boy,
Mhm.
are they, that was the very first massage I ever got. I was in my 30s, and I was out at some resort with my husband at the time, and it was a reflexology, and I was very impressed by it.
Amazing. Well, let me ask you
So
this because you also, with all your 24 something years experience hands-on massage therapy, you also have an innate gift of with energy. Tell me how you got into tarot reading as well and how you're even combining this. This totally makes you unique. I don't know any massage therapists that are doing both. Tell me where this came from and this passion.
the tarot and spirituality in general has been from day one, to be completely honest.
Wow.
And it has evolved and grown throughout the years. I have been doing my interest in astrology, if you will, and compatibility with different signs has started when I found out what sign I was. And my boyfriend had bought me a poster, and I said, "What is that?" And he said, "Libra." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." The scales, right? The balance. Ironically, Libras want to work, and they are very much about connecting with people, and and having, yeah, having that connection, and it's worked beautifully in that regard. But the spiritual part of me recognizes that there's energy everywhere. Everything is energy, and a lot of times you can feel that. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I think it starts when we're all children. We all have the gift, and then it kind of morphs into different things. I ask for it. I've studied it for so long. I took Reiki courses. Anybody can do it because we all have the gift of being able to have that sensitivity and recognize, energies, like I say. But it's such a healing, beautiful thing when you have the ability to kind of calm your body down. And I had to do it before this, interview, because I'm excited. I'm nervous. It's like,
Yeah.
take the deep breaths. So that started a long time ago. And then I decided I've been doing it professionally as far as readings for well over 10 years. And I just decided to incorporate it because a lot of times I will have people come in, get a reading, and then they can get on the table, and we just kind of work out extra, energies that maybe have concerned them. All the while, just letting you know, there's always a practice I do of protecting my own energy. Because, when you think about it, you're taking on other people's energy all the time, right? And I had to learn that the hard way. But yeah, it's just something that's it's been an absolute passion of mine. I don't know if you can see in the background, I'm actually not at work right now. Mondays are my day off.
It's okay.
And this is my craft room, my tarot readings. I do uploads on YouTube with them as well. And it's just something I will do probably the rest of my life because it's inspirational. It's entertainment, but it speaks, it's quite coincidentally very accurate a lot of times. That's all I'll say. Have you ever had a reading? Have you ever had anything like that happen?
I had a tarot card reading actually a few months ago, actually here on Zoom. I did it with a client, and I was fascinated to learn about. I could see the card, and I'm like, now I forgot what it was all about. But I guess they asked me for my birth date. Like, what are the things that you need? It was my birth date, my birth time, birth.
Exactly. And you can get that for free on these wonderful sites that most professional astrologists use. And you could just plug in that information, and it'll let you know, like Cafe Astrology or something of that nature. So let me just say to you, if I may, just before that I'm picking up for you a couple, because you're more than your sun sign. We have 12, astrological signs in our natal chart. And I'm definitely picking up with you fire and also earth. I don't know if that's correct. What is your birthday?
January 10th, 1978.
So that's earth. That is the Capricorn in you. Okay. So I
Okay, is
can feel
that
that. I
okay?
can feel that. It's just this kind of beautiful, grounded, but Capricorns, of course, are one of the most successful signs in the zodiac because we learn from all of ourselves, right? We're all a little bit of everything. And with you, there's the goat glyph that represents you, and there's no mountain too high or too difficult to cross, in your opinion. I feel like you feel that obstacles are opportunities. That's kind
Yeah.
of your mindset. And it's never going to be any other way. And you are excellent at what you're doing. Obviously, that's true. I would be very surprised if you didn't have fire in you because a lot of times Capricorns are okay being behind the scene, kind of running the show, but you have the part of you that wants to be seen, and you've got that electrifying
Yes
kind of
and no.
beautiful.
Yes and no. I spent
Oh yeah,
20
yeah,
years
I
working
can.
in television, but then now I do this. But after I had kids, it's like, no, I'm like, I like working behind the scenes. I prefer working behind the scenes. It's not,
See?
yeah, it's funny you said that because yeah, and I have like this fear, like I have like a bad anxiety, like of being out there, like talking to people and me, like I used to public speaking. People think I'm so great at it and I come across great, but the fear and the anxiety and the knots in me, it doesn't come
Oh,
so easy like they think it does. But I put
I
on a
know.
good
Well,
show. Maybe I'm a good actress. I don't
Well,
know.
that's what it is, and that's what I love because I think everybody, what is it called, that syndrome where we just don't think we're good enough. I can't think of what it's called right now, but we all go through that. No matter how good we claim we are or think we are, people say that we are, there's that part of us, and you got to just breathe through that because you're doing great. You're going to continue to do great. But yeah, Capricorn. So that's interesting. You can
Oh,
pick up on those things the more you study it, and it does have some validity to it. But that's why my passion is there, and I think it's a great combination because I'm dealing with a person's spirit and their physical aspects of them. So
amazing.
yeah.
As you're hands on with them. Wow. And tell me, the work that you do, you clearly have a love for it and a passion for it. What is the best part of your job? What would you say?
Well, okay, I love that question. The best part for me is the fact that, and I've had many, many occupations, but that'll be a whole nother podcast. Okay.
Ah, okay, okay, okay.
I was just throwing like spaghetti on the wall to see what
Yes.
would stick. Usually two jobs at a time. Just, I love being busy. I love being active and such. But what I love about massage is that I am so present and focused, and it's quiet, and I have beautiful music playing in the background. And there's something so important about being present in anything that you do, and
Mm-hmm.
not being distracted. And it's actually, I don't know how else to say it other than it's a win-win kind of situation. It fulfills me. Hopefully it's fulfilling the person that I'm working with. And what a great feeling that is to know that you've helped somebody in that way, and in any way, actually. I think all of us strive to do that in some form where we feel like we're making a difference, or, we're making something better. And
Aw.
I feel like that's what I've gotten out of it. And then well, my relationships and my clients then have become friends, and sometimes even like family, if that makes sense. But that's definitely what I've loved about it. And I will miss terribly when it's not happening one day.
Oh my goodness. Well, I just feel that, working with, someone like yourself and being so open and being so, part of someone, because it's a close, intimate experience when you're working with someone, right? And touching their
Yes.
bodies and at the same time tapping into their selves. And let me ask you now, when it comes to the Reiki and energy healing part, right? Are you a Reiki master? Are you a Reiki
I
practitioner?
am
What
a
is
Thank you for asking. There are different levels, and anybody, like I said, can do that and be taught. And I went to the Reiki master practitioner, not the teacher, because I knew at the time I had the day spa and I was very busy, and I wasn't able to follow through with the time that would take. So it's considered the Reiki master practitioner. And I've been doing that since 2005 is when I got these certifications for all of those. And it's just like I said, I have gone through health issues. I don't know anybody who hasn't been pretty severe, and I fully believe that the Reiki you can do on yourself has helped me get through them and come to the other side, through a lot of trust and and the proper healing times that it takes to do so. Now I'm not a doctor. I never claimed to be, but I do love discussing things that I am aware of. I love natural ways to feel good. I like talking about those types of things.
Well, we still have some more time left in the show, and I hope, people out there listening can learn about the benefits of Reiki and healing and energy. And let me ask, though, in regards to that, because some people also aren't really sure what energy healing is and how that works. And could you give us some examples of how the Reiki energy healing is helping the person as well? Some of the things it can help with?
Yeah, basically, like I said, it can be extremely subtle. It's not like you're going to, necessarily feel it necessarily, other than I will say I've definitely been told that you can feel a little bit more heat coming from my hands. And sometimes it could even be a cooler energy feeling. But what it does is, like I said earlier, I think the main thing it does is help release extra stresses. It helps to relax a person more, which is perfect because when you're in, especially if you're new at getting a massage, I'm a terrible client. I am. I always think I'm so relaxed, and my arm will be sticking like Miriam, relax. Just
Yeah.
so, but it helps with that, and it honestly, I've been told many many times, you have a far better sleep at the end of the day. So it's kind of just incorporated, unless a person specifically wanted sessions, and I would have to discuss that and figure that out. But you would come in loose clothing, and you would just, and I basically have my hands just above the body, not even
Yeah.
actually touching it. And then the energy just kind of feels, I liken it to, in a sense, but correlated at least to acupuncture, where they put these needles, they're very fine, you don't even really feel them, but they're opening up and releasing, the blockages that our bodies tend to do. And therefore the chi or the energy can flow better. And that's essential for all of us.
Yeah,
The
of
other
course.
So I hope that explained it, but it's kind of a natural thing. I have had people come on the table and I'm working with them, and from the very beginning they say, are you a Reiki? They know because they can feel the
They can
energy,
feel the energy.
because they too are as well. So there's proof for you too that this isn't just a bunch of woo woo, but energy is an absolute real thing. Everything, like I said, is absolutely energy. So it's only just about calming and helping people feel more at peace. I think we all need that in our bodies. Stresses cause so much illness, and
So much, a lot of everything for
yeah,
real. All right. Well,
yeah.
we have 5 more minutes left in the show. What else do you want to make sure we cover for today, since our audience is getting to know you, of course, in your craft?
Well, I mean, it was interesting because I came about being able to do this podcast in an unusual way, but I love it. I think it's a great advertisement. I love being hosted by you once again. I appreciate you very much. And I do want to say that I remember about 2 years ago when I started listening to podcasts and watching them and thinking, oh, this is cool. I would love to do this. It would mean so much to be able to have a show once a week, twice a week, and incorporate and invite other healing, modalities and chiropractors and acupuncturists and spiritual, seekers to just convene and kind of have that safe, beautiful community where we can share and kind of, express how we feel about things. That one like-minded kind of energy is always really nice. So I hope that can happen as well. But I am available, and hopefully I can meet new clients, for the remainder of the time that I am able to do massage, which I'm thinking I just renewed all my licenses. Okay. So we're good for a good couple of years. But other than that, I don't know. I attribute a lot of my drive, and I think that was brought up in a question. And who were my mentors? And
Yes. Who?
definitely my dad, who was amazing, and who unfortunately I lost. His birthday was on tax day last week, April 15th. He would have been 99 years old. An amazing man, and also incredibly supportive and great work ethic. I do need to say that there's challenges that come with everything in our lives. There are
Yeah,
things
yeah.
that come out of the blue. And just to really, really have that vision as far as massage therapy, if you're wanting to be a massage therapist, if you want to make, it's a huge industry. It's very competitive, but everything is. So it's what you take out of it. And to know that if you have that vision, the obstacles will not necessarily ever hold you back. You ride through them, and there are many at times, so you just have to stay strong with that, and really, if it's your passion, you'll know it. And if not, it's not your jam. You just go to do something else. But yeah, just letting you know that there's a lot of support and help now as well for massage therapists, which I think is super important too. And I would love to always answer, questions in regards to that. If any clients had any questions or, that sort of thing, you can always contact me. And to make sure that everyone knows, it's Pure Massage Therapies. That's THERAPIES, because there is another location very far away from me, but it's with a Y, Pure Massage Therapy. And I am the therapies with the S. Okay. So I wanted to put that out there too.
Well, thank you so much. And I hope people do reach out. And it's a pleasure, getting to know you again, Marianne Martinez. And Pure Massage Therapy is the name of the company. But the website, again, Pure Massage Therapies, THERAPIES.com. They can reach out. And do you offer like a free consultation with a conversation? Or what is the process like to get started?
Okay, well, we actually, if they log on to my website, they can definitely log and figure out a time and date that works for them from the convenience of their own home. But they can also call the number that's there, 856-7294, area code 510. And I will be more than happy to set it up. I do that often as well. And then when they come in, there is a very short one-time intake form. And then we always have a consultation. So I know exactly what they're needing at that time, which is, like I said, I think extremely important that I'm not
Yep.
only, but that I'm hearing what they're needing. So, but you're great. I really appreciate you having been the host. You made me feel really comfortable.
Same here. You're just a pleasure to talk to, pleasure to work with. It's so easy, and you have great energy, clearly. And that's what I love most about my job is I get to talk to so many amazing people all over the world, and
Exactly.
we connect. It's right. Life is so precious. We are all
It
these
is.
we're just bodies, but we have these souls and amazing energy. And there's a reason behind it all. There's a reason why we met today, and why people are
Absolutely.
listening, and why people will be contacting. It's just the way of the world. So I'm pleasure to welcome you into my circle, and thank you for welcoming me into yours, Marianne.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I hope we do get to connect again.
Thank you very much.
You too, sweetheart. Have a
Take
fantastic
care.
day. Thank you. And to all of our listeners and viewers, stay tuned. We'll be back with more. Don't go anywhere.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.